Meshes that could be used in a game at a later stage of development oftentimes need to have a low face count. High face count meshes usually take a long time to draw and will lower the frame rate of the game. We're going to use a tool that allows us to go back and forth between different resolutions of a mesh. So high face count to low face count. I'm going to do that by adding a modifier. It's called the Multi-Resolution Modifier. And right now, if you look, I can only use 0 as the number of subdivisions for preview, sculpt, and render. But if I click the subdivide button, notice that it subdivides, and now I have the option to go between no subdivisions and 1 subdivision. Same thing with sculpting, though you won't see that unless you're in sculpt mode. So if I go to sculpt mode and then change back, notice that it changes. Same thing with rendering. If I render it right now, that's what I get. If I back it off, notice it's a cube again. And then I can subdivide again. And each time I subdivide, it's going to get higher and higher resolution or have a higher face count. I'm going to change back to object mode. And notice that right now, preview is showing only 1 subdivision because I told it to only show 1 subdivision. But I can bump that back up to 4 now, and you can see all of the subdivisions are there. Now if I wanted to change the way this looks, I could go to sculpt mode and use the tools in sculpt mode to alter its appearance. As an example, I could use the flatten tool. And notice that it creates a flat spot there. Now notice it's actually mirroring along the x-axis, because if I scroll down, I have the option to have symmetry turned on or off. And right now X mirror is turned on for the subdivision tools. If I go to clay, notice that it alters the shape very slightly. I can increase the strength. And that affects the shape a lot more. So I can get a very detailed shape going here by just modeling with this. The most common tool to use is Sculpt Draw. Once I get the shape I want, then I can look at how that shape looks at different resolutions by going back to object mode and changing the preview settings. And if I wanted to, I could subdivide again and then go and do editing. And then I can go back. I can either change sculpt mode so I can see what it looks like in sculpt mode, or I can go to object mode and change the preview setting.